Yeah, so Euro USD, we are starting from the weekly time frame. Now, Princess said we should analyze Euro USD. So, Princess, if you are here, move with me as I analyze Euro USD. So, Princess, we are going to ask ourselves a question, and the question is simple. What at all is Euro USD from the weekly time frame is explaining to us? Or what is the direction from the weekly time frame? So, if we are focusing only around this area, we can see that weekly is what is in a form of what uptrend, giving further explanation as to how monthly was able to break this monthly resistance. So in weekly, we have seen that after price breaking this monthly resistance, weekly has managed to pull back to respect that resistance as support to continue. Monthly itself has not been able to pull back to it. Let's forward it to monthly. So this is monthly time frame. We can see that when monthly broke this monthly resistance here as impulse move, we are expecting monthly what? Pull back. The question that we need to ask ourselves, when, where, how? If monthly is going to pull back anytime soon, when, how, where? We don't know. So we are going to find out. Now we are going to what? Start on weekly. We are going to switch on again to weekly time frame. This is weekly behavior as to how monthly is what is moving. We said that the direction is to the upside in the form of a trend. And that trend is what? Uptrend. When we combine the direction and that behavior, we have uptrend. If we are in an uptrend, where is our support? Starting from here, we have here as support. Do you have another support? Yes. Do you have another support? No. Now, if you have only these two support, where is our resistance? This first support form this resistance. Then price pull back. This second support on its way to form its resistance above. As you know the criteria, it has seen sell pressure at the same level as previous what? Resistance, and it is dropping. So currently, in weekly time frame, we have our new trend as what? As weekly pullback. Now, as to where we started from this support, and then we have ended this support. How many pullback do we have? We have only this pullback, and we have our current pullback that me and you, we are experiencing. So in weekly time frame, price is what? Is in a pullback. Why? Simply because it has failed to break its previous resistance and it has seen sell pressure. If it has seen sell pressure, automatically there will be what? More what? Sell pressure to this support. Question is simple. How? When? We don't know. So from the weekly perspective, we have here as our weekly resistance where price is what? Sitting below. And then we have here as what? As our weekly what? Support. So this is the weekly range. Now since it is higher time frame, we are going to scale it. So from the weekly perspective, from the candlestick manner, how is weekly dropping to its previous support? We can see that price in weekly rejected using this bullish engulfing rejection followed by a bearish engulfing, bullish candlestick, bearish candlestick, bullish indecision, two bearish candlestick, two bullish, and then two bearish. And just last week we have closed with what? Bullish market on Euro USD. So what at all is this what? Current pullback in weekly explaining itself. We have to lower it to time frame lower than daily. There we can see the clear definition of bearish bullish that we are seeing in what? In weekly. There we can now then confirm that there will be more sell pressure to complete weekly what? Support, or there will be more buy pressure to complete weekly resistance. Let's find out as we move on to daily time frame. So we are going to daily time frame to understand this movement of price. So here we are in daily. So Princess, daily is telling us that the bullish, the bearish, the bullish, the two bearish and two bullish that we saw in weekly is not the same as in daily. Why? Daily is now breaking every bullish bearish candlestick that we saw in weekly in daily in the form of what? 5 candlestick. So therefore, since weekly has moved longer, we'll see behavior of price in what? In daily. And that behavior is what we are seeing here as what? As trend. And since we are heading towards to the downside, when we combine them, we say we have what? Downtrend. The behavior is what? Is price moving in the form of a trend. The direction to the downside, down trend. Now since we are what? Moving in a downtrend, where is our resistance and support? Starting from here, we have here as the resistance within daily, giving explanation to what? To weekly. So we are going to focus on daily. If we see how daily is moving, there we can predict how we are going to end the week as far as Euro USD is concerned. Do you have another resistance? Yes, that resistance has formed this double what? Top. And after this double top, anytime price pull back to exactly at that area, we are seeing sell pressure. How? This double top was able to break this neckline, also this support, to form the last support below. What happens when price pull back here? It saw sell pressure, it dropped, but it failed to break this support. Now price has pulled back to that exactly that same area. Question: are we going to see sell pressure? If yes, are they going to drop price to weekly? If yes, how? Now let me repeat myself. Price has pulled back to exactly this same area. Now the question is simple. Are we going to see sell pressure? If yes, are they going to push price back to weekly support? If yes, how? The how will help us to jump in, whether to what? To sell as swing or to sell as day trade or intraday. So after knowing all the resistance, this is our last resistance from the daily manner. So after knowing this last resistance, where is our support? Let's find out. This first resistance formed this support. Now this second resistance also formed this support. This last resistance has formed support above. So we are seeing support above previous what? Support. We are seeing resistance on the same level. What at all is price trying to tell us? So in daily time frame, we are within this range. Daily what? Resistance and daily support. Now who is going to win? Is it sellers? Is it buyers? If any of them, how are they going to win? Are they going to win in the form of a trend or impulse move? We are going to find out. So from daily perspective, this is our daily new trend. So in weekly, we now then analyze new trend, and then we have been able to what? To understand that trend in daily. So now we are going to focus on daily. From now till the end of what? The week. So to focus on daily till the end of the week, we have seen this what? This new daily what? Uptrend. So how is this new daily uptrend explaining itself in what? In lower time frame. For example, 4 hours. For example, 1 hour. For example, 15 minutes, 45 minutes. If we do understand this new daily trend, that is when we can decide that whether we will be what? Swing traders, day trader, intraday, and so on and so forth. But bear in mind, this new uptrend here has now then managed to do what? To break above this support, also this support. So we must be careful. Price can pull back as minor, and this what? Support or any of these can hold as support to complete or to move to the upside. Now let's understand this new trend here. There we can what? Do our anticipation. So quickly we are moving on to 4 hour. Here we are in 4 hour. Now let's forward it to daily. How are we seeing this trend? We are seeing it as what? As impulse move. Seeing what? Only bullish candlesticks or green candlestick. How is it explanation from the 4 hour perspective or from the hourly perspective? We are going to move on to 4 hour. Here we are in 4 hour. Are we seeing the same thing? No. We are seeing different thing. And what we are seeing is what? It's a trend. And that is the behavior. What we are seeing right now is what? It's a trend. That is the behavior. What is the direction? To the upside. Combine them, up and then trend. So the direction is to the upside. The behavior is in the form of what? Trend. If price is in the form of a trend, how are we going to get in? Are we going to get in using this at uptrend, or we are going to get in by selling to the downside? We can only what? Sell or buy when we do understand what is happening currently. Now, in daily, we have seen that price has managed to pull back to its previous daily resistance. So daily, we are within this range. So there was a downtrend back to this support in daily. There was uptrend back to this resistance. There was a downtrend there. And currently, we are in an uptrend. So we are going to focus at the moment. At the moment, starting from here, support here, support here. This is our last support within this trend as an uptrend. Okay. Now, where we started, this first support formed this resistance. The second support formed this resistance. This last support has formed this resistance. How many pullback do we have? We started from this support. First pullback, second pullback. Currently, 4 hours what? If you want to describe the 4 hour behavior, currently, price is what? It's in a pullback. So that pullback that we are going to experience is this one. Now, we have to further ask ourselves question again. Are we going to see more sellers pushing price back to this 4 hour support? If yes, how? Now, let me repeat myself again. Are we going to see more sellers pushing price back to this day 4 hour support as 4 hour complete pullback? If yes, how? Since 4 hour is what? Is in a pullback, that means that we are going to see how 1 hour is explaining 4 hour pullback. So to move on to 1 hour time frame, where is our last 4 hour support? So as we all have seen it here, this is our last 4 hour support here. And then where is our last 4 hour resistance? It's here. It's on the same level as what? As daily. We don't need to draw because it will be complicated. Now, bear in mind, we have this last 4 hour broken resistance. And this is where we are going to sell from in lower time frame. If there will be more sell pressure to this support, we are going to sell from here. So let's move on to 1 hour to see how price has presented itself here. Then we'll be looking for opportunity to the downside when 1 hour respect this resistance. Let's move on to 1 hour. Now, here we are in 1 hour time frame. So how is 1 hour explaining previous what? Uptrend. That price used to break this last 4 hour resistance in what? In 1 hour. So for 1 hour is telling us that there was what? There was uptrend. How? We have an impulse move here. This is where price corrected in 1 hour. We have a correction here, we have a continuation, we have a correction here, we have a continuation. In 1 hour, this is the last support. That price broke in 1 hour as break. What happens? We have a pullback. What happens? We have a drop below. So 1 hour is trading below this 4 hour resistance, giving us what? This first resistance, second resistance, telling us that we are likely to move in a downtrend to complete 4 hour. How? So if you are a trend line trader, we have our first touch, second touch. Now this is how we are going to what? Trade 1 hour time frame to 4 hour. So if the sellers are still enough, if the sellers are still going to show their presence as to how we are seeing right now here. For example, we have our lower trend line here also. So if sellers are going to present itself as we are seeing here, this is how we are going to trade. Now, price can drop back here again, come back for the second touch, and when price fails to break above, opportunity to the downside will be profitable. Let me repeat myself. If the sellers are still here as what we are seeing right now to complete 4 hour, this is how they can present it themselves. They can drop price back here, we will not sell. We will wait for the second touch, and when price pull back here and fail to break it, opportunity to 4 hour support will be profitable. Or price can what? Can see buy pressure, fake break above here, come back below, pull back to this exactly this resistance, opportunity to where? To 4 hour support will be profitable. Or price can also see sell pressure, drop below here, come back, form any pattern here, opportunity to the downside will be profitable. Then if price doesn't present itself in any of these, that means that we are going to see buyers breaking above, coming back here, respecting where we want to sell as support. Now opportunity to where? To the upside will be profitable. That is our room of what? Error. So when price presents itself as such in 1 hour, we are going to see what? Head and shoulder inverse in 1 hour at 4 hour resistance. So the key here is that if sellers are going to present themselves, as I've already explained, that ways is what I'm expecting. If not, that means that there will be more buy pressure up to this level, pull back here, fail to break below again, opportunity to where? To this upside will be more profitable. This brings us to the end of what? EURUSD analysis and also my life. If you have any question here, you can bring it on board for us to talk about it before I end my